Welcome, dear Viviane. It's such a pleasure and an honor to have you. I'm so excited. I can't contain myself.
Oh,
And Mira, you,
It's such a pleasure to be with you. I'm so excited for us to dive in, and I'm excited for people to fall in love with you all over again, and for a first time, those who are meeting you for a first time.
ah,
yes,
thank you.
everybody should know you, Viviane. Everybody. Um, so, I'm gonna let you have the mic to tell us about you, because I will not do you justice. All I could say is blah blah blah, but there's so much that you could say in a few words that will really get the gist of you.
Of course, I want to thank both of you, Mira and Sharon, for having me today, and everyone listening. It's a joy to be in your presence. So, my name is Viviane Chauvet. I am an Arcturian being in a hybrid human form. I represent directly as an emissary the beloved Arcturian delegation that I'm a part of. And of course, I do a lot of work on around the world. Been traveling quite a bit this year, and especially to really help to repair and heal, very specifically grid system in conjunction of the timeline of the organic timeline of ascension and where we are moving from and to, especially. So as an Arcturian being, I hold different frequencies, and even my body is genetically engineered to be in a certain resonance field. So when we speak as many. There's no need for me to channel because I am one of them. So I'm simply conveying what is coming through. My brain is also designed to interpret as we go. And definitely our presence is as a reminder of the true potential that we are holding here and your empowerment. And it's a time to really identify to this potential that you carry within you, as opposed to holding on to the old matrix of personalities, history, upbringing, and other form of influences. So just to capture the essence, like you mentioned, Sharon.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you. And I know that I was with you recently in Kos in Greece. And I know that you were doing work in Africa before that, right? And in Egypt. And so I don't know what you care to share, but I feel like it's such important work that you've done there and that you keep doing. And I cannot thank you enough in the name of all of us. I'm just so deeply grateful.
Thank
So
you
if you
so
would
very
share,
much.
thank you.
Absolutely. And you are correct. We were together at the Stargate Gathering, the global gathering in Kos that just happened recently. I had the joy of becoming a co-host with Pragit and Julian for their gathering. First, I was brought as a presenter, but I turned to be also a co-host for the entire gathering. And one thing I'm observing is the synergy of just the room. There was about 1,200 people in the room, as you know, in person,
Yeah.
plus on the live stream, many more. But what was really wonderful to watch, and that's also testimonial of what's happening in the timeline, is to see so many people with a common desire to reconnect, learn, expand, ascend, and hold each other in a very similar, I would say, consistent, very cohesive field of evolution, and to see representing so many countries around the world in one place, and yet everybody was able to coexist, support one another, hold a space when somebody was going through an emotion, so that that person can clear, cleanse, understand, have multiple breakthroughs, and then being able to still hold the energy and meditate as a group. We have to think about 1,200 people. Well, you would say there's a billion people on the planet, but it's still very representative. So what we have done prior to the global gathering, to continuing answering your question, is that we spent 2 very intensive weeks in North Africa to Egypt. But we went to Cairo, Luxor, we went to Abydos, we were on the Nile, we travel all around. And it was really much with the intergalactic groups and many delegations like the Arcturians. And it was very much the intention to go and clear deeply the distortion has been created for thousands of years. And I could see from some of the temples the history that was written. So we came back. I came back as well as a direct emissary there physically, boots on the ground. And I said, now it's a time to reunify the field as above, so below. And we know that the community, the intergalactic community, there's a lot of partnership, but it's time to reflect that partnership back onto the earth. So we're all becoming more steward and paradigm shifter together towards a common goal, which is the ascension. And it sounds very redundant and simple, but the level of work that we've done there, oh my goodness, you are correct. It will continue to resonate even beyond this earth plane. And I can tell you that the ripple effects that we have co-created and generated are really well beyond what has been perceived. And it's not just for the earth, but it's also going to the solar system. It goes into the galactic core. It's going to, in many, many ways, to support that unification. And last year we went in South Africa. We done more work there with my husband and I. And again, there was a restoration of ancient intergalactic signals that was disrupted for thousands of years. We were able to reconnect certain grid system and allowing Gaia to start to vibrationally shift in a new direction. And what was restored has been supportive of what we have implemented in Egypt. So I see everything is truly deeply interconnected. And to have an Arcturian right physically on site, what was amazing is to hear many beings who are greeting us and telling me, we know who you are. We know who you represent. And some of them says, what took you so long to come back? Well, it took a journey to get us there.
Right. Yeah. And I feel, first of all, let me tell you that when you were in the outside in Egypt, I was watching the video, and when you were outside there working, I felt the ripples. Like I actually felt how it was going all over. It was like so impactful. I mean, it's not a good word. It's not enough, this word, but I really felt like waves and how it was going all over, like you just described. But I felt it going outward like that. And I feel like it was a long journey, because we were so much in darkness, and I feel like we're ready to start bringing in more light. But I do feel that there is right now, especially since COVID, there's a lot of darkness that's coming up to get released, right? So yeah, I feel like you had to go against a lot to get there and to do this work.
Yes, a lot of pushback, whether it's dimensional, whether it was from, old government structures, whether it was even energetically. And yet on site, I will hear beings opening portal, welcoming us at the same time and being very, very supportive. Like, for example, the Temple of Hathor, I can feel there was a very predominant interdimensional portal that still coexists in the temple, even after thousands of years. Who knows how old it is? But there was this portal, and right away I can feel the omnipresence of a group consciousness that came directly from the Hathors. They are they are a higher frequency interstellar group, and they came in their light body form, and they said, "Look, we have left an imprint behind." And what they meant by that is that they left a portal there that was coexisting inside of the temple. But what happened is that most people go to Egypt and wow, look at this monument, look at the pyramid, and they go with groups and they listen to the scholar, and this is, what the wall says, and it wasn't. But if you are caught up in that level, but you kind of put visors on and you approaching those sacred sites from a third linear approach or a mental when you want to learn. Well, you want to learn from a mental feed. You don't want to experience them from a multidimensional level. I was there as a multidimensional being. I never listened what the scholar has to say. And of course, I honor what they have to say because it's a lot of work what they do. But my role was not to feed my mind with intellectual information. I was there as an emissary on behalf of an entire intergalactic community to bring back the restoration, to bring the connections, to bring through my physical form the next level of the frequency or the appropriate codes that needs to be returned. So the multitude of work was very complex because each temple had a purpose. Each place had either a distortion or some challenge. So for example, in other temple, we were watched, we were like really like on time and we have to be there. Only 30 minutes, don't linger, stay with the group, and the guards there on site will push us out. Or I can feel where we were hitting the point going up. Today we're really clearing a big pocket of dark energy because we're being pushed. But nonetheless, we were able to do our work. And even I want to make you smile, both of you and everybody listening. At one point, I want to do a meditation with our group, and the guy comes and he says, "You have 4 minutes to do it." I'm like, more than I need. And in 4 minutes, we brought the essence with such authority, empowerment, and light. And once the time of 4 minutes on the clock finished, it says, "Okay, no more, you have to go." And it says, "And now we're leaving with peace." So the fact that we were so compliant, even though we were seemingly compressed for time, I always tell them at a higher level, we're still going to accomplish what we come to do. Time is an illusion. So 4 minutes can become a lot longer of what we are initiating today will continue to resonate well beyond that 4 minutes time frame that we were given, if that makes sense, right?
Absolutely. And the fact that you're in the physical and they're in the non-physical, well, part of you is in the physical,
yes,
then it allows for more of an opening into this level so that it could be done faster. I do believe that we need the physical and non-physical to work together, right?
Go ahead, Mira.
Yeah, I was going to say the word that you describe is just absolutely profound and exceptional. And I love how you speak of doing the repair and in the distortion. And how does that unlock the potential for all of us? How does that allow us to be more of ourselves, right? I would love to hear what that makes possible and available for all of us.
Great point as well, Mira. And I love the synchronicity between the two of you because it really is. We're transcending the illusion of restriction, limitation, or what government says, or the regulation says, or the time says. In reality, it is an invitation to realize that when you start to perceive beyond a certain veil of limitation, like at that point, at that temple, we had 4 minutes to meditate. I'm like, okay, I saw it as an opening of the doorway, not a limitation. So it allowed right away our group to step out of that illusionary confinement and everybody gather nonetheless and stay in that cohesiveness with each other and for themselves. And when we start to lead that 4 minutes meditation, we were very, very precise into to bring the essence and the seeds that were planted. So as a result, it elevates everyone's energy, helps them to move beyond those physical, sensory limiting points and being able to perceive themselves in the light. In fact, we were all talking about it. once we went back in our bus to bring us back to the next temple or whatever we were going, is to say, look, did you see what we were able to generate and accomplish? So it stimulates something more. All of your senses start to get open. Your intuitive centers, your chakra system become much more open. And there's a synergy that comes in action within you. And that same synergy, you can apply it even when situation, like for example, I did a workshop earlier today, and we utilized a platform called Crowdcast. We had about 300 people. And for some reason, the platform was wobbly. There was a lot of interference on the technical issue, and I knew what was happening. I knew. And so it was an invitation for everyone to say, what is triggering you? What opportunity to heal those trigger points? Instead of giving in frustration and anger and all of this, to says, you know what, I'm going to step back and I'm going to open that other part of myself and receive. And I ask that all the gifts been received to me, and being able to accomplish what we need to do as a group and contribute in that level, as opposed to retracting to primal fear and retracting into primal reactiveness. And then you drag the group down, you drag the energy in opposition. And then you ask yourself, what just happened beyond the technical issue? This is just one example of how we can apply the release of distortion, and says, in spite of all of this, I declare I'm going to achieve what I've come to do, and I'm going to stay centered into a higher frequency, and I'm going to stay connected to myself instead of retracting into a fragment of myself. If that makes sense, right?
Absolutely. Fear does that. It lowers our frequency.
Yes.
Or confusion, or it's usually fear, like, oh my God, I'm not listening, I'm not hearing this, I'm not getting this. Definitely. So we could apply that everywhere. That's such a good point. And to understand that it's a reminder, granted, we're not galactic beings, but we do have the capability to be multidimensional, and to understand, to remember that we could do this. We can step outside of fear and step outside of time, because time is a construct, like you said, and we could do whatever it is that we need to do in the time that we so need or so want, you know. So definitely, it's a great example.
As I was listening, as I was listening to you speak just now, I felt everything that you spoke of on such a deep cellular level. I don't even think I have words to describe and process it yet, but I truly felt it. And I wonder, what would you give us as guidance of what to do next? Those of us who heard you and felt everything that you spoke of, and truly see that that is the path of ascension. Please give me something else. That's what I'm asking here.
Well, it starts with implementing simple tools. It's about the cultivation and the secret practice of it. So yes, you know, Sharon, you mentioned about the non-physical and the physical come together. And then Mira, you talk about feeling at a cellular level. And it's true, because our divine cellular structure is really shifting. Our cells are designed to hold the blueprint, the perfection, the blueprint of who we are. And imagine trillions of cells. And you can even start to consciously connect and say, I ask that my divine cellular structures be returned to the perfection of my blueprint. So it helps to start to generate a sense of unwinding from helplessness. Well, what can I do? There's only one of me. I feel overwhelmed, you know, or I panicked, or I felt that maybe I would be disconnected or deprived from something. And at any given time, one of the major tools I always recommend is bring yourself back to a point of 0 point. We talk about this, a divine neutrality, 0 point. But 0 point is really much a frame of reference. Why? Because in any given time, even when you're traveling, airport, at work, family members at home, even at the grocery store, if you're energy sensitive, it can be overwhelming to be in the presence of so much synergy where people are usually overall unconscious of how they push their energies. And I see that even with spiritual event, because I host quite a bit of online events and or in person, or when I do conferences or gathering. And one thing is that I see people pushing their fear, pushing their despair, because they want other people to connect with that, who feel desperate, who feel it's the same thing. Now I feel validated. But in reality, it's just an impression. You are validating only that part of yourself that has been triggered. And instead of looking at it like an aspect of you in front of you that's in my limerine crystal, is that part of it was triggered. Just look at it with compassion. Teach me, show me what is it that you really need. Then I can help you to transmute back to the light. And that fractal or that aspect of you can be returned to you, restored, and filled with light. So when you meditate and allow yourself just to bring yourself back into that sacred centerness or 0 point, this is where you allow yourself to breathe, feel your breath, catch your breath. Let your mind be with you. There's no need to get rid or fix anything. Always work from a point where I'm already whole and perfect, and I may not feel it right now, but I'm bringing myself back into this higher blueprint of a reality, because there's never just one reality. There's a multitude of realities. So what reality are you in right now? So bring yourself back into that point, connect to your solar plexus, connect to your heart, feel the sacred grids of your feet. It allows you to ground yourself back to a more higher, loving, and refreshed presence. If you need help, ask for help from that point. Like, I want to take your class, I want to listen to your meditation, I'm having some issue. Can you help? Stay centered. And also be mindful of what you're projecting constantly. Because there's many, many more star seed on the planet. Those who are soul emanation have come from other intergalactic groups or system, galaxy, universes, you name it. And we have all came back together to really support that re-ascension process. But most of us are extremely energetic sensitive, which means I'm going to pick up on and receive and absorb what you're feeling, what you're projecting, what your mental energy is telling us, or what is your feel is saying. You may be telling me something here, but your feel is speaking louder than you. So there's a discrepancy here. Let's bring it back. Reset. Bring yourself back in centeredness. Ask, am I present? Am I connected? Am I feeling my breath right now? Those simple, quick tools that brings you back into your space so you can have a different approach. If you're projecting too much, bring your energy back to your centeredness. Anchor, ground yourself in loving presence. Refresh. Okay, now I'm going to do it again. I'm asking for help. That's a complete different set of response you're going to receive. Sometimes I receive email. There's not even a hello. Hey, I'm supposed to do that. Help. What's going on? Where's my benefits? Where's my link? Hello, who are you? Talk, communicate. Imagine, how do you want to be responded to? That's a way to call yourself what part of you wrote that email. Is it the inner child? I feel disconnected. I'm going to be missing out on something. I'm being ignored again. Okay, that's okay. We'll catch it. And when I'm going to coach you and say, well, hello to you too. Can you give me more details? Because your email said nothing to me. What is it that you need? I'm going to be there. Oh, tell me more. And so it really allows to deflate situations. And you can do that with loved ones, friends, at work, even clients you work with, or even sometimes guests you interview, like they come, like, and the energy start to feel very expanded. Okay, let's reset. I do that a lot with my client. Let's reset again. Let's come back again. Now we're going to take it from there. Now we'll have a talk. So it's about bringing ourselves into awareness in the sense that it is easy to get caught up into the stories and what it really seems to be and what it's presenting to our senses, whether it's on the news, social media, a video, a YouTube, something that really upset you, that triggered you right at the primal aspect of you. Recognize it. There's no need to feel guilty, feel punishment, feeling unworthy, or to hold resentment. Clear yourself. Bring yourself back into that point of interconnection. And I will add one more layer. Ask different questions. Because as you reset, bring your mind into a different place. Okay, I will ask different questions that will generate a different set of experience and answer and see what happens.
Yeah, I love that very much. Thank you for these tools. I usually go into my observer. Well, first of all, I have to disconnect from all of everything around, you know. So like you said, bring yourself to 0 point. And then decide where do I want to go? What I look at the end result of what do I want to get to, and then I work it backwards. But I feel like what you just said is so much easier, isn't it? Feels like it is.
Yes.
And the thing is, you can switch around a situation. You know, it really is. Because the more sometimes we push in the same direction and we can tell there's nothing coming out. So Sharon, you talk about we were in Kosh recently in person. So the day was after the gathering, of course. The next day, my husband and I had a very early flight back home. And it was like, overall, we were going to be up for 30 hours. So we know we were in for a very long trip.
Yeah.
But then imagine this, it's 4:30 in the morning. We're all a little bit sleepy. We arrive at the Kosh International Airport. And at the counter, the lady behind the counter, completely detached, says, "Nope, your luggage is in violation of our rules. We're refusing to print your boarding pass. You're grounded, basically." And that one plane will defy the rest of our journey, whether we're home or we're not.
Right.
So at first, like, what? That energy, plus being super energy sensitive, being an electronic being, I can feel the energy of what the person behind the counter was pushing onto me. So I can tell the energy was saying, "I want to make sure you don't get that plane." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm going to make sure I'm going to be on that plane." So we have to reset quickly, but it's 4:30 in the morning. Boarding process started to get very, very thin because we're at the tail end of it. And everything is closed. There's no resources. So we go to another office for, asking, is there other ways, regulation that we can walk around? They come to us with the same energy. No, you're on your own. There's nothing we can do. Sorry. Move along, move away from our counter. They kind of shoo us away from there. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to recenter ourselves quickly here. So I told my husband, my intuition tells me to walk back towards the counter where we come from. But he says, but they're gonna tell us the same thing. No, let's go back. Sure enough, 3 wonderful ladies from the gathering just finished their boarding process. They were still there and they start to understand what was happening with us. And so it became a group effort. Because of their help, we were able to change the dynamic of what our luggages were about. So we went back again. I said, now try it again. Do it again. Not try is release. Do it again. And I asked her colleague, I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk to your colleague now. Do it again. And she took our passport, put it, she go, oh, okay, now you're within regulation. Now I'm going to give you your boarding pass. Ah, okay, do that. And so we went to security with a crew. We were the captain and the flight attendant. We were part of the crew. We went through the
Nice.
security, and I said, let's stay focused here. The crew is here. It's a good sign. Let's stay focused. So we went through security. Everything was fine. We walked to our gate. We were the last one. After the crew got in, we were the last one to enter, sit, buckle up, the door closed.
Wow.
It was like
Yeah.
sequential. Then the next airport, the three ladies who help us, we gather again. We redistribute a few things, and we tell them, I'm sending you so many blessings and love, and you're practicing what you've been learning in the entire gathering
Right.
together again. And as a result of this, we've been in touch. When one of the ladies in particular, we've been in touch, and we're going to be seeing each other again.
That's beautiful.
But you see, that's a very 3D prime example of you're tired, it's early in the morning, you want to go home. We've been traveling for over a month. You want to come back. And that one trip can really have the power to completely disrupt the entire itinerary. So there's a lot of stake here. At the same time is how we do it. And of course our luggages did not follow us, and we got the luggage 2 days later. Well, I saw a bigger picture because it allow us to go home, relax for 2 days, and then take care of unpacking everything.
Right.
So, it's like I decide to stay in that flow and go, you know what, I'm going to take care of ourselves. We're back home with the family. We're
Right.
safe. We're home. I'm grateful. Thank you again. Thank you again. And then I know my luggages were on the way, and it arrived 2 days later. So it's all about, I surrender and like, okay, something else is creating. So it created an opportunity for the other three ladies to feel empowered when they step forward and help us. They go like, wow, we're helping the cause of the gathering. I'm like, you're helping somebody here today, and you're making a huge difference. So just so you know, what you're doing has a positive impact. And so, it's just, especially airports.
Yeah, with airports, I always kind of put in the energy that everything will go smoothly and open up. Yeah, especially nowadays. I know I was also on a 30-hour flight back. I think I was on the 4:30 flight going from Kos, and the next morning too. I don't know how I didn't see you. But anyway, I know they canceled. I was supposed to have only 2 flights, but it ended up 4 flights because they canceled to reconciliate flights. So it's not an open air, so they don't have open seats. So, and yeah.
What you shared was such a great example of what you teach in practice and people applying it. I love the practicality of it. Thank you for that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's awesome.
You are very welcome.
I want to share, I'd like you to share. I know that I'm part of your crowdcast. You have different possibilities for people. And there's so much that you contribute and give, and people can get in touch with you and get on your website. We'll add that, so people will know how to get in touch with you. But is there something that you want to tell us about? Are you going to be on something that you want to tell us soon, or maybe you can share the possibilities of working with you? I know firsthand that it's so amazing and great, and I loved working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for bringing your light also for what you do. And Mira, of course, I can feel a synergy of the two of you. And of course, Sharon, be part of our community. It's such a joy. And I always says, it's really all of us. Think of it as like a necklace of pearl. If each pearl comes together, it forms that necklace. Because without those pearls, well, the necklace is no longer in the same configuration, it's no longer in the same field. So we have about 2 years, I think, for now, about just 2 years now, a little bit over 2 years, we started an online community. And I know the platform Patreon, and we're going to be working on eventually transitioning from Patreon to another platform. But it's not about a platform that define or of who we are. It's what we bring. It's the interaction. It's the quality of the lighter-minded people, very gifted people like yourself, Sharon, and of course,
Mhm.
gifted as yourself too, Mira, who come together. So we developed, series of different memberships, and those membership allows you to being able to learn from us. And we have our monthly event that is really working directly with our delegations. We have the Arcturian holographic group healing that is once a month. It's a really powerful 2 hours when you are working directly, again, with our delegations, myself, and every time we shift the frequencies of what we need to do. So this group healing is extremely potent. We have also our monthly series, meditation series. Right now we have what's called the Race of Creation that we just started recently. And in November, it's going to be part 3 or Ray of Creation number 3. We also do another level of meditation where we can go anywhere in the multiverse, whether it's the etheric retreat, whether it's going into the cosmic heart energy of pure and consciousness, whether it's going into the great central sun, whether it's the Arcturian temple. I mean, we go into many places. And all of these tools are designed as catalysts of realization, breakthroughs, evolution, and learning. And I know I've been doing a lot of one-on-ones over the last 11 years, and it's rather challenging for me to keep up with the demands of people finding us more and more. So I am moving more into a more community base. We do our global initiative Zoom meeting on Zoom. This is about planetary work where we come and gather all of our teaching, learning, and we decide, do we want to do grids, more activation grids today? Do we want to bring the next codes of activation? Do we want to bring, the next level of learning? And also we do have the Patreon members retreat. We were in England this year. We went to Glastonbury. We went to Stonehenge. We communed with the guardians of Stonehenge, right inside Stonehenge
Wow.
at sunrise. It was incredible. We're going to be presenting a documentary on this for the members. And next year, we're going to Switzerland at a beautiful hotel resort for the retreat. And I do a lot of sort of conference. I'm going to be at the Conscious Life Expo in LA, California in person for the 4 days. I'm going to be presenting workshop, lecture, panels. We have a booth there. I'm going to be traveling more with the Stargate group next year. We already talked about where we're going to be going. And I'm going to be doing also the walk-in online conference on Saturday, November 11th. It's Saturday, it's 2 days. It's November 10 and November 11. It's called the Walk-in Conference, and I am a speaker alongside with other amazing people talking about what are the walk-ins, what is the role of the intergalactic beings, what is it that we're bringing at this point of time. And I am a guest speaker with Sheila Seppi from the Conscious Awakening Network, CAN Network. And so that's another example of what I'll be doing. I'm working with Deborah Justi. Coming up, we'll do an event at the end of November as well, and potentially November, December. So I'm very much engaged on presenting and offering and bringing more and more the direct frequency, the perspective, the knowledge of who we are. And that's going to continue to expand. And that's not the project I have on mind, but I said right now it's on the etheric plane. It's gonna come, but for now, I'm gonna hold on to this.
Yeah, we still have to, we humanity have to open up more and more. We're like a flower that's blooming, yeah.
Yes, a multidimensional flower.
Yeah.
It is one flower with a multitude of petals, billions of it, plus the complexity of other life forms like the animal kingdom, those beautiful cosmic beings, horses, cats, dogs, rabbit, birds, all these beautiful, the wolf, the bears, all of them. So there's another layers of life that's supporting us, the animal kingdom. Please let's honor them. There are intelligent cosmic beings. We also have the omnipresence of the symbiotic energies of Mother Gaia into that lotus flower, with all the elementals that coexist with us and beyond what we see. So understand that this one flower represents the one singularity mind of Prime Creator, and we are expressed in different shape and form throughout that one flower. So thank you for mentioning that.
I love that visual. I was thinking humanity, but it's actually so much more. A lot more. Wow, it's beautiful. Wow. Thank you.
Of course.
Well, I can sit and talk to you forever.
I know.
It's so nice. Thank you so much for your time, your precious time. I know you help so many people. And again, thank you for being such a light for us and reminding us of who we really are. And so much love and appreciation to you.
Thank you.
So much love to both of you, Sharon and Mira. You are two both beautiful, powerful light in your own ways. Your unique ways, and yet coming together form really quite a force of light. And Octurans, we are truly a reminder of your future potential, of what you really can accomplish. And we're simply here to hold a space with all of you and supporting also the effort of so many beings who have come. It is our time, and 2024 is going to really bring in the next level of the grid system. And it's going to reflect into our own light body structures that is shifting the configuration of our own grids and the evolution of our DNA, the evolution of our cells, the evolution of the chromosomes. We're shifting back into a higher template of light. That's going to require for all of us to have the discipline to hold those frequencies with the willingness to accept that and to really start to unwind yourself from the attachments of 3D identities.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I would just remind ourselves and our audience to have a lot of compassion. I mean, you're a model for me for how much compassion you radiate compassion to me. That's what you represent the most, is the love and compassion that you have. And I want to hold that. And I would like all of the audience to remember that, especially nowadays. We need that. We need that so much.
Yes, thank you very much, Sharon, for that. And I know you feel it too, Myra. I can feel that. It's divine compassion that we bring it back. And it's true. It's a strength, it's a courage of the heart, it's the direction of the light. It's to really going into that deep compassion. And yet being able to set healthy boundaries and still being able to hold yourself with authenticity and kindness to you and to others. And you'll see there's much more that comes in that meets the eyes right now. So stay in your light more than ever. Hold the light in every aspect of your expression, everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye for now.